British versus American TV. How different are they really? Hey guys, it's Amanda. If you're new here, I'm an American who's been living in the UK for years, and I post about my life and experiences here. So if that's your thing, make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified when I post new videos. So let's get into today's video. I'll be talking about British versus American TV and the main differences between the two. I know when people visit the US, they get incredibly annoyed by the constant adverts, and on the flip side of that, people in the UK hate paying for a TV license. But which one is better? Who knows? But what is your least favorite thing or what annoys you the most about British or American TV? Put it in the comments. Number 1, TV license. I wasn't even aware this was a thing until I moved to the UK, as we don't have to pay a fee to watch TV in the US. At first, I thought it was a bit weird because you still had to pay for like Sky, BT, etc. if you wanted extra channels. However, while researching this video, I learned that the fee helps to maintain quality program for the BBC across its radio, television, and internet outlets. But mostly, I love that there weren't any adverts, or some channels that, if there were, not nearly as many. Which brings me on to the next one. Number 2, adverts or commercials to my fellow Americans. If there's one thing I don't miss about TV in the States, it's the excessive amount of TV breaks. I feel like sometimes the adverts lasted longer than the actual show itself. And I know many of you agree with me, as I've had quite a few comments saying that you couldn't stand watching anything when in America for the exact same reason. Now, there can be no more than 12 minutes in an hour in the UK for adverts, whereas in the US, it's around 20 minutes. And they're always at the worst times. They're just like jammed in there. And it's just awful. But the ads themselves are actually pretty different as well. In the US, they're filled with like tons and tons of information. Whereas here in the UK, they seem to focus more on like entertainment rather than tons of like facts and stuff and information reeled off, which I much prefer. Number 3, holiday specials. Personally, I think the US does this really, really well. Every year, the month leading up to the holidays is filled with the best movies. For instance, the month of October will be filled with all the most popular Halloween films and shows, including like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason, etc., all day long. So I would relax all cozy with my pumpkin spice coffee, watching all of my favorite films. It's my absolute favorite time of year. And I know Americans are over the top when it comes to these holidays, but I wish the UK would do something similar, as they don't really broadcast really anything for it. Number 4, episodes. TV series in both countries are very different. One of the biggest is the number of episodes that they have. I don't think it's necessarily a good or bad thing. I think it all depends on the show. The UK tends to be more short and sweet. It's not as drawn out. I read that the average TV series here is like 8 to 10 episodes, whereas it's 20 to 24 in the US, which is quite the difference. And I don't know if that comes down to the fact that American TV is usually written by like so many different writers, and the UK usually has like 1 or 2. Maybe that plays a part in the length. More people, more ideas, make for longer series. Who knows? If you do, let me know in the comments. Number 5, nudity. It's definitely more acceptable here. There's a lot more censorship in the US, and this is down to the fact that the FCC, or the Federal Communications Commission, regulates everything on TV, and they're allowed to ban any like obscure content. So shows like Embarrassing Bodies or Naked Attraction would never, ever, ever air. I mean, I can't believe it's on TV here. When I first saw it, I was shocked, to be honest. I mean, you pick your date based on naked bodies. However, I will say that they have some incredible amounts of confidence to put themselves out there like that. So well done for that. Number 6, actors. I've talked about this in another one of my videos, but I think British shows tend to have more everyday looking actors that are more relatable to the average person, while the US show glams up a lot more. Everyone's attractive with the really white teeth and perfect hair. And it's not realistic or true to life in any way, which can sometimes make it hard to connect with the characters. A perfect example of this is The In-Betweeners. I absolutely love the original. The characters were exactly how teenage boys would be in real life at that age. Disgusting. So it made them really, really easy to connect with. Whereas the US version was the exact opposite. They were all good looking with, like I said, really nice white teeth. And it just didn't make sense, which is probably why it didn't last very long. It was absolute rubbish. Number 7, soap operas. They used to be really popular in the US, but they've kind of fizzled out a bit over the years. There's only like 4 left, and the most popular is The Young and Restless, which tracks, I think, around like 3.2 million viewers. They're much more popular in the UK with soaps like EastEnders and Coronation Street that attract 6.5 million viewers. However, they are on
Well done!
Can't get my words out. They are on the decline as well. Now, I've never watched them in the US, and I don't watch them here. But I'm assuming that maybe like Netflix, Now TV, Amazon, they all have something to do with it, as so many people will turn to them to stream shows and movies now. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Number 8, observational humor. There are so many British shows like People Just Do Nothing, Peep Show, and Toast of London that are loved by so many people in the UK. It's humor revolving around our everyday lives, no matter how mundane it may be, things that you wouldn't necessarily pick up on and find funny until it's highlighted and then you can't help but laugh. Personally, it's the one thing since moving here that I'm not really a fan of. I just don't find it funny most of the time. Maybe it's because we don't really have observational humor in the US. To be honest, I can't really think of any shows that are even remotely similar to it. And I know I'll get a lot of comments saying how wrong I am, or my favorite, that Americans are too stupid to get it. But it just comes down to our cultural differences, as do most things that I talk about on the channel. To be fair, there are things that I really miss about TV in the US, like Lifetime Movie Network, which is a channel for women as it's packed with like sappy love stories. It's a great channel. However, I think the UK wins hands down when it comes to wildlife documentaries. I mean, you've David Attenborough. Need I say more? It would be great if I could just merge the two together with all of the best bits. It'd be like the best TV ever. But what are your thoughts? There are quite a few differences between the two. Is there anything that I've missed? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, smash that like button if that's what you're into, and I'll see you in the next video.